If you enjoy our show, spread the love wherever you listen by rating, reviewing, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff to help us get ourselves out there. And with that said, let's start the show. I'm Ode. That's Vicky. I'm me. You're you. We are we.
Oh my god, that was so corny.
The You, Me, We
goodness.
podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the You, Me, We podcast. Vicky, how are you?
I'm good.
You good? You're like, I'm good. That's how you say, I'm good. You're good.
I'm good. It's just that you see Amore moving in the back.
For those watching on YouTube, our dog wants to be on air with us today, so she's running around, so you might see her in the background. Our son is also in the background, so you might either hear him
His little
or...
lime feet between us.
Yeah, you'll see his feet if you're watching on YouTube. But back for another week. Vicky, I know it's only been a couple of days
Yes.
since the last recording, but we did say we would maybe air a new episode every other week. But I think
It's just gonna air when it airs, okay?
it's gonna air when it airs. So you might get an episode.
Let's not put limitations on this.
Okay, so you might get an episode on a Thursday morning and then another one on Thursday night. That same day, just because we felt
You
like
might. Yeah.
Anyways,
You'll just get something. The latest. We can't promise every week, but I can promise every other week.
okay. So Vicky,
The most.
since you asked, my week.
I never ask. I don't know why you don't tell us about yourself and then ask me.
Because you're weak. I mean, because you're not you're weak. You're you don't care. But it's cool. Whatever. I just thought maybe I'd give you a chance to be, care about me. But wishful thinking.
Is this something you need to talk about tomorrow?
My week's been good. I'm happy to say I feel like I am complete. I am done with building my dream studio.
We shall see.
I know I've said it before, but I do. I feel confident in saying it now. Anything, if I was to purchase or add anything from here on, it would be. There's a word I'm looking for. It would be just me wanting to like splurge on something.
Okay.
I don't need anything else.
Okay.
All right. So, and the past couple of days or this morning, I stood in the doorway and I looked and I said, I patted myself on the back and I felt good about it. And believe it or not, I was gonna come downstairs and tell you and say thank you to you.
Oh.
Right? Because I do feel like I wouldn't have my dream studio if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have the.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have the.
What is that?
What is what?
Those push things.
Those are my new trash cans. Well, I'll do a little camera thing so you guys can see my new trash cans, which my studio is also, for those of you who have been here before, my studio is also set up for convenience for myself and for guests when they come in, which is why recently my last two purchases.
Your guests, I'm like, who?
My last two.
Namore.
My last two purchases were non-slip cup holders for guests when they sit at the other seats. You're not a guest, so those aren't for you. But I wanted to say thank you because one, I wouldn't have the space. We wouldn't be in this home if it wasn't for Vicky, so I wouldn't have had the space. And just how responsible Vicky has been with us and our finances, and
crazy.
How strict she's been with me and my spending, even though I haven't been the best at it over time. You made all of that kind of possible.
Wow.
So I wanted to thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for allowing me to be a big kid and surround myself with my toys.
Okay, now my turn.
Your turn to say thank you? Go ahead.
No, my turn.
To what?
For that room.
To spend... What do you mean your turn? You could have been to that. You chose not to. Anyway, I needed my cup holders and my custom tiny garbage cans to save space. Well, Vicky, we are both getting old, right? And
you are getting old.
And I recently thought about, with us both getting old, I'm going to edit out you saying I'm getting old and not both of us.
I'm young.
I recently I started thinking about what are some things I want to start doing. You don't want to be next to me?
Is that you move a lot when, like, you're going like this a lot,
Yeah.
and you're like, and you're just shaking my chair.
I thought about things I want to start doing.
Yes.
and things I want to like stop doing. Cause I'm turning 40 next year, and yo, you give me that look like it's a.
It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, don't group me with you because I'm not there.
Okay, we're in the same range.
We're not.
So I thought about what are some things I want to start doing now that I'm 40, or now that I will when I'm next year. Mm-hmm. What are some things I want to stop doing? What are some things I want to no longer do? So like now that I'm 40, I want to start XYZ. Now that I'm 40, I will no longer XYZ. Mm-hmm. So, and then I got the same question for you. Now that you are, can I say your age? Do you mind?
No, it's fine. I'm in my mid-30s.
So now that you're 38, I'm joking.
I'm in my mid-30s.
So the question for you would be like, now that I'm 35, can I say it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I'm not 35 yet, but I'm approaching 35. Exactly.
So for you, the question would be, now that I'm 35, I want to start,
I get what you're saying.
Being more obedient to my man. Now that I'm 35, I will no longer talk back to my man. Whatever, just give me some examples to you.
Okay, I think you watch a little too much TV there.
Right now, there's some like hardcore religious people listening. Like, you should have started that when she was 18. Yeah, should be married by now. She was 21 now. But yeah, so what's one thing you want to start or no longer do when you turn 35 and on and moving forward?
I want to start. I don't know. I would say I can't. The reason why I'm saying I don't know is because I already kind of do it. So I don't know if that's technically start or maybe just like take more seriously.
What's that?
Is going to bed at a certain time.
Why?
Because I need my sleep.
It made me think of, I saw a list that had like things you should stop doing by a certain age. And one of them was like going out every night or going out every other night or binge drinking or partying on the weekend and getting more sleep.
Yeah, no binge drinking. Definitely not on a weekday. No, I don't really binge.
I know the way you said it made like, but on the weekend.
Yeah, I'm like I don't even binge drink. I know my family thinks I don't drink alcohol.
They think you don't?
Yeah, they think I don't drink alcohol.
Okay.
Because I don't drink like how they drink, but it's not that I don't drink alcohol.
How do they drink?
It's that I have always had a very high tolerance for alcohol. So while people are taking like 3 or 4 sips and they're already feeling tipsy, my body's like, girl, like you really trying to drink or not?
You just like, down the whole bottle of Brugal, and she's like, that was a nice shot.
I can definitely drink like a whole bottle of tequila and be like, oh, okay, I guess it's time for bed. Like, and be
okay.
No, I'm saying like, I've always had a very high tolerance for alcohol. Hence why I don't drink alcohol, because usually people are drinking it when they go out. I'm too cheap. I'm not going to spend that much money on alcohol just to get to the level where you are, because you're a lightweight. Not you specifically, even though you are, but anybody. that's why I don't drink when I go out, because I'm never going to like even get slightly tipsy. So I don't know. I went off on a tangent, but I don't do that anyways. But going to bed at a certain time, definitely. Be more disciplined about going to bed at a certain time and waking up at a certain time. I think that I want to start being more disciplined about that. So I was actually having a conversation with my friend today, and we both realized, like, if we don't pace ourselves and plan things out, we definitely, it causes like a form of anxiety in both of us.
Okay. Which
can like spiral into depression in like the blink of an eye. Because we feel quickly. Because I feel you start to feel like you're losing control. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. What is the purpose? Like, I don't know. I guess like we both just realized that today. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm like that too.
Something I want to start doing that I should have been doing a long time ago. Taking showers. No, I'm just I want to start. Not eating healthy. I don't want to say that because I know I probably won't do a good job of it. I wanted to start taking better care of myself. And I feel like at 40 it's something that you have to do. You should make, be more purposeful with that. Be more, what's the word? We're taking better care of yourself. But for those who know me, I do not. I don't eat well. I don't exercise. I know y'all watching on camera like, well, you don't exercise? Damn, God clearly has his favorites. But I need to start because I want to be around. I want to be around for you. I want to be around for Khalil. I want to be around for our dog. I want to be around. But I realize I don't take good care of myself physically. I don't eat well. The healthiest I eat is when you give me a cup of your smoothie.
Yeah, you don't even finish drinking.
Or when you make like a healthy meal for us. Like not you don't make healthy meals all the time, but you make like a meal. So I'm eating more regularly when if you made us a meal. Because if not, what am I going to do? I'm going to run to McDonald's or whatever. So at 40, part of me does want to do the whole like start now so that I can take a picture of myself with my shirt off at 40 and be like, this is 40, whatever. I
think you should.
Ain't going to happen. Unless Donald.
Well, then how are you going to start it if you're not even trying to?
I know.
So is this just a wishful thinking episode?
No. Okay. No stab, all right. I will. So with this episode, can the episode cover be me with like my shirt off and say this is 39? And then next year's episode.
That's on you. That's your body.
My body, my choice. So, you know what I was doing? I was looking online and I was trying to find a list of things like that society, all these blogs, whoever recommend.
I know. I'm looking at it.
So this list that I found two things I wanted to pull out. This was stuff you should stop doing by our ages, by 35 and 40, right? And I wanted to get your feedback because I thought these were awesome. So by 35, this site, whatever that I found, said you should stop believing in the one, quote unquote, the one. And it says, if you haven't found a life partner at this point, then the odds of him or her still being out there and still being single is pretty slim. A single 36-year-old wrote this. Either learn to lower your standards and settle, or start thinking of cat names, unless you're Trinity, in which case the fate of Zion depends on your belief in the one. You do not get the reference. Do you?
No.
Jeez, my goodness. Did they have commercials when you were watching Sábado Gigante? They didn't have commercials for movies growing up? Okay. The Matrix.
I know what The Matrix is.
Then that's the reference.
Okay.
Trinity was the woman, the one was New York. But anyways, by 35, Vicky, do you agree that you should stop believing in the one?
I think that people should stop fantasizing about the idea of what the one should be like.
Okay.
Not that they shouldn't believe that there's someone out there for them.
Go back. Say that again.
So people have an idea of what the one... People have an idea of what the one should be like because of what social media and society is feeding them.
What are some of those things that people disillusionally...
that you're like always going to click with them and you're going to be like, oh, he can read my mind without me having to say anything. And like, it shouldn't take work. Will just naturally flow.
The chemistry will be there.
Yeah, the chemistry will always be
organic.
there. Yeah, it'll be organic and like, oh, they're gonna meet all these things. And so like this idea of like how the one should be like as opposed to the one that fits you the best. Like that's really what the one is. Like who fits the life that you're trying to live. Because they just like want someone that's perfect when they themselves are imperfect. Mm-hmm. So I think that people need to, by 35, you should
should you give up as this thing?
No, you shouldn't give up. I think that you should give up that idea of that bullshit, the one that a lot of people think that their partners need to be. Like, for guys, it might be like, she needs to have a certain body. She can't have kids. She can't have this. She gotta have this, and she gotta have this. And it's like, okay, but you have all of that.
We're talking about you, though. We're not talking about...
Yeah, like, you can't... Like, I think that by 35, you should have such a solid idea of who you are and who you're trying to be, and that you should be trying to match with someone who can assist you in becoming that person, and that you are an equal match in assisting them becoming who they want to be. And that's really what the one is. The one isn't this, like, social media, picture perfect person. It's the person who fits your life the best. So I think the idea of, like, it's the idea of what the one should be like that I feel like people are always getting hung up on, and they create these, like, lists of what they should be like.
For me, it said age 40. By age 40, you should stop thinking about starting over. Many people will tell you that it's never too late to start something new. You can quit your job and start a new business or create a new product at any age, they'll say. That's true. That's true. If you're under the age of 40, anything over and sort... What? Am I reading that wrong?
It says that's true if you're under the age of 40.
Gotcha.
Anything over and sort of uncertainty and instability is just insane.
So, a failed 41-year-old entrepreneur wrote this.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah. I don't agree at all. What's the...
That's right there. That's like scared. That's very scared mentality. Like, I didn't have enough faith to do it, so let me shoot you down, because if I didn't have enough faith, then you really won't have enough faith. Like, okay, but we're not cut from the same cloth. So keep your pessimism and your inability to do anything all the way over there.
So let me ask you, and I've asked you this before. Can I start my rap career?
You can start a rap career.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you'll have a rap career.
Can I start my rap career with your support at age 40?
Like, what kind of support do you need?
I need you to be okay with me spending some money on studio time. I need you to be...
You mean in the studio that you already spent money on?
No, I want to move to Atlanta. Duh.
No. I'm not living in the South.
Okay, we'll find some studios nearby. I need you to be in the background and do the whole, that's my man. What was it?
That's not me.
But you need to support.
You want somebody very ride or die, and I'm telling you, I am not ride or die. I am.
So you won't stream.
Ask a million questions, then give me like a few weeks to think about it, and let the thoughts simmer, and then let me forget about it, so that I can feel like, okay, the answer naturally came to me, and then I'll have some questions. But I don't ride or die.
You're not gonna stream,
I ask questions.
You're not going to stream my tracks? Are you going to
stream them where?
On Spotify. On.
You have my computer. Go play yourself.
Wow. Okay. But anyway, I don't agree with it. I know there's some examples people always give. What's the guy?
It's never too late to start something new.
I think it was.
I don't think so. I think that if you pace yourself, and like, first of all, no one, no matter what age, no one is gonna jump on any idea that you randomly wanted to do. Okay. I don't care how old you are. If you wanted to be a rapper, like, that had to have been something that you wanted to do, years ago. Maybe you never rapped, but maybe you've written things for people, or people know that you can write songs, or that you follow whatever, or that you have, like, you're part of, like, a group or whatever. Like, the interest has to be born out of something. Like, you just, like, you can't just randomly say, I'm a rapper now. Like, you can't randomly say that. You have to actually already have an interest. Like, there has to be a foundation of where you're actually trying to take this from. You get what I'm saying? Like, it can't just be, I'm a rapper now. Like, that's like me saying, I'm going to become a clothing designer. But I don't own one sewing machine. I don't even know how to sew anything with a needle and a thread. I don't know how to cut anything. I don't even know how to draw designs. Like, I don't even know how to draw the figure that designs go on. Like, I don't even know how to do that. I feel like maybe if I was someone that was always into art and I was drawing and then eventually I morphed into designing clothes, that would make more sense. And I feel like that wouldn't catch people off by total surprise. But because there is a history of something that is similar to that, it would be like, okay, you're starting something new within your same already established interest. If that makes sense. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, there's a famous designer that she started, or freaking Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart started her business when she was like 30-something, 40-something.
That's what
I bet you that interest of hers has always been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It's always been there. She didn't go from like a freaking factory line worker to like, I'm going to be a homemaker maven, you know, like, no, like it had to spark from somewhere.
I'm about to go Google maven in those terms, in that context.
I hope I used it correctly.
Hopefully. So let me ask you, Vicky, now that you are about to be 35, now that you're getting older, you
I'm
will
about to
know.
Be 35. Let's clarify.
Now that you're getting older, you will no longer, and even if it's something petty, something like mine, and nothing deep. Now that I will no longer, or I will start to manifest. But no, think petty, think small, think. Now that I'm getting older, I will no longer what? And say names. No, I'm joking.
Now that I'm getting older, I will no longer... I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm very vocal when I don't want to do something or when I'm no longer doing something. That's why I have a hard time with that.
Anything you ever felt like...
Like, if I don't want to go somewhere, I'll say no. If I don't want to talk to people, I just won't.
Okay.
You have to give me like something.
Change the question.
Okay.
We'll go back to OG You Me We podcast. Vicky.
Are we gonna have to talk about it tomorrow on therapy?
No.
Right.
Vicky, now that I am getting older, what should I no longer do? What's something you feel I should no longer do? Going off of what you know of me. And love and hate about me.
I feel like you should no longer have an erratic sleep schedule.
Okay.
I mean, I have a list.
Run down the list.
Okay.
Run down the list.
I don't feel like you should have.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel like you should have an erratic sleep schedule.
Uh-huh.
I think that you should be more diligent about
big words.
When you are available for work and when you are not accessible for work. I feel like you should have a very like firm like, oh no, you're calling me at the wrong time.
Shots at my coworkers. Okay.
I feel like you should not. Yeah, well, you had mentioned it, like not eating so poorly, becoming more active. I feel like you should be more.
Go ahead.
Explorative.
We'll talk about it in counseling. Go ahead.
About finding solutions to problems that you're constantly dealing with. I feel like you don't do that enough.
In general, or because I'm getting older? Just in general.
No. I feel like because you're getting older, you should want to set an example for Chloe. So as you're getting older, you should be showing that you're wiser in dealing with problems or like just finding solutions. Like, okay, I really don't like the way that this is going. Let me not ignore it. Let me address it. One, to benefit me, and two, so that I can be a resource for when my son goes through this, and I can be like, listen, I did this, and this is what worked, and this is what didn't, as opposed to just giving him ideas that he could just Google because you never tried. Yeah. So I think that that's why it's important, because you're getting older, because you have someone that might turn to you for similar life experiences. And I feel like at 40, just anyone in general, I feel like if you are aware of a problem and you are not sitting down and trying to actively find a solution, at 40, that shit is childish as hell. Like we're already so grown, you know, and I feel like if you don't already have that, then you should start practicing that, because that's just going to carry you through life. Like, if for whatever reason we end up single, nobody wants to deal with somebody who doesn't, you know, at a certain age doesn't face their problems maturely and head on. Like, we don't want to deal with that. That's 20-year-old, early 30-ish behavior. Like, we don't, you know, at an older age, you're going to meet someone who is like, if you're not trying to deal with this like an adult, like, literally step out of the way and let me deal with someone who wants to handle things. So I feel like that wasn't primarily for you, but that was really for everyone. Like, at a certain age, definitely 40. Yeah. You should already be, like, more proactive about finding solutions to your own life's problems.
Message? For you didn't ask, but I think now that you're getting older, and you kind of said something that made me think of it. I think now that you're getting older, you should. I think you're kind of on this path. Don't be so quick to say no. Right? What?
No, because I'm like, I don't have a problem saying no. I say no to everything.
And I say don't be so quick to say no, especially because you're getting older. And even though you said, you know, give you some time and you'll probably come around, my reason for recommending to not be so quick to say no is that because you're getting older, you don't want to miss out on stuff. You don't want to miss out on things that you could have enjoyed. It's a stupid example, but when we first met, you had said no to seafood. You actually, your words were you don't like seafood.
Yeah.
Luckily, you came around right when seafood became trendy for all you people that, you know, buy your little trash bags of seafood.
Before the seafood became trendy.
It's so weird. It's a trash bag.
Yeah, but
seafood.
I was already eating it way before everyone started talking about crab legs. Yes or no?
But anyway.
Yes or no?
I don't know.
Yes,
I just know at one point trash bags of seafood became popular, which is weird.
Was it a thing in 2016?
I just know at one point seafood and brunch became the thing to do. But anyway.
Okay, it was not. I was already eating it by then.
But anyways, but you could have missed out on this trend, and you probably have, you know, 4 or 5 less Instagram posts. But just stupid example, but for the reason I just gave, you don't want to miss out on things. Mm-hmm. And even though you said, yes, I'll come around, what if you come around to that idea, to that thought, that whatever, that mindset, that thing, that activity, when it's too late? When it's too late to do it with a certain person, when it's too late for you to enjoy it. For people who probably are saying no to retirement, you don't want to come around when it's too late. And then I remember someone told me they don't want to retire when it's too late to enjoy their retirement. Just as an example. So that's my reason why I think now that you are getting older, or now that you're old, don't be so quick to say no.
Actually, when you were saying that, I was thinking, you shouldn't. I'll circle back. I forgot.
You sure?
Yeah, I completely forgot, but it was very much along.
Was it like rephrasing how I put it to make it?
No. It was something along those lines. Like you were saying, you don't want to miss out. Oh, I know. Yeah, it was along those lines. Like it's not so much. It wasn't specifically what you said about don't say no so quick, but it was. Just be more open to new things and new experiences. Because there's people that they won't say no, but they won't say, like, I'll say no because I just don't want to. But there's people that will say no because they're timid or they're nervous or they're scared or they're, you know. So I think that that's something that people should do away with as they get older, which is obviously, you know, hard, but...
And
again, if you have kids, they're watching you. You want them to live life boldly, you know.
Are you as excited as I am to get older? I know some people like try to avoid it, and I don't want to get older. Oh my gosh, I'm 35, whatever. I'm excited about just getting older. Physically, yes, because I keep saying I can't wait to get my little salt and pepper, like an actual salt and pepper, not the you gonna flex your salt and pepper on me.
I am. I already have it.
Are you excited about getting older?
Yes and no.
Like superficial as it is, I look forward to my mid-40s wardrobe.
It sounds scary.
Because, as you all know, I'm going to be all in zaddy mode with my mid-40s attire.
I mean,
wardrobe.
you're only like a few years away from that, so.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm just a young zaddy right now.
Anyways, yes and no, because mortality, that has been very pressing. And yes, because I've never been like, first of all, I've always seen getting older as a gift. Mm-hmm. So I've never been put off by getting older. I think it was from reading Tuesdays with Maury that it made me appreciate like the process of getting older. But I feel like I'm trying my best to make sure that I don't look my age later on.
Some of us just, God had his favorites. I mean.
Anyways, I look forward to getting older, but I hope that my life elevates.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I look forward to it. I think we said before where I definitely realize that I don't know if it's TV, I don't know if it's the generations before us. They just gave us this warped view of 30s,
yeah,
of
people
40s.
just lived a rough life back then.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking y'all, but for those who are our age, 35, going on 40, think back to when you were like 12, 18. Did you think 35 would look the way it does look for you right now? Did you think 40? Look, I thought 40 just seemed old.
But you also know what, too? Because I was thinking it did look old, but, like, for example, thinking, like, okay, my aunt had 2 kids and started a business.
Yeah.
And I'm over here just trying to make sure that I wake up at a certain time.
And one of those kids was Patchy, so she had it rough raising that demon seed.
Yeah, right. That's probably she was like she could have the damn business because her kids were freaking normal.
Unlike your other aunts.
Oh yeah, you see, that's why she's in education.
Much offense.
So I was thinking about that, and I'm like, yo, our parents definitely, like, yeah, they bought a house, they started businesses, their kids were mad young, they took vacations every year, and here I'm like, all right, maybe we can do something for Khalil's 5th birthday and go away as a family to Pennsylvania.
Well, they were like, all right, all 25 nieces and nephews are going to go
the whole
to
family, we're all going to Dominican
Let's
Republic,
go.
and you wouldn't even, like,
Like, this is just what people do.
I know. So I think that yes, they seemed a lot older, but they also, I feel like, had their shit together much younger.
Yes.
Like, we have access to a lot more stuff, a lot more money than they did.
We pride ourselves in looking younger than the other generations did at this age.
And not nearly half as accomplished.
While we are, while we are in shambles.
I know.
Our lives
literally falling
shambles.
apart, like, without, like, and we're still leaning on them for help.
Yeah, but did they have 4,000 followers on their MySpace? Or, no, MySpace was still us. But did they have all those
MySpace
followers?
was definitely us.
Anyways, well, yeah, but did they have whatever? That's what we are priding ourselves in. While they were priding themselves in being able to raise all those kids and provide, and we're like, but you look mad old, son.
Yeah, and it's like, well, yeah, because they were out there working.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting old with you. Now we turn to the camera and it's like TV sitcom music. No? Anyways. What?
let's get married and then say that to me.
We are going to get married.
I know.
We have a venue.
Oh, yeah.
That's new from the last time. We have a venue.
We actually picked a venue. There's a date. We're locked in. So,
if you got an invite from before, throw it out.
Throw it out because you might not even get one next time.
It be like that.
No, now that there's a venue, there is a limited capacity. Before it was kind of like, we don't care, like, whatever. There's no number.
And over quarantine, we found out who the day ones are, and some of y'all got cut. Some of y'all didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
For
real.
Kidding.
Oh, no, I'm not kidding. That's for real. Like, you got the invitation like 2 years ago, or by the time we get married, well over 2 years ago, and during coronavirus,
you ain't like one of my posts.
You never reached out to see if we were okay, or if Kala at the very least was okay, and no hard feelings, because I didn't reach out either. But I feel like we now have an understanding of where we both land in each other's lives, and I'm okay with it. You should be okay with it, but then you should also know that that's why your invitation may have been rescinded, or why you're still not going to get invited. Which, again, big deal, honestly. Like, big deal if you don't get invited to the wedding. I'm never salty about shit like that. First
world wedding planning problems. For those who had to reschedule their wedding date for whatever reason, whether it was because of coronavirus or in the past, you had your guest list. You probably cut some people, but now you're like, but we became good friends with John and Jane. Damn, so now we got to add them. When you didn't even know them before quarantine. So we definitely had that convo where it's like,
there's definitely people that I'm like, I could totally do without, because there's a new group of people that I feel like are going to be, it's not because we became friends, but because now as we get older, looping that back in, now that we get older, we are being more,
you're more intentional with your friends.
Yeah, with the friends that we're choosing, because now we don't need friends for random companionship. We don't need a whatever. We're actually looking for a community.
Sorry, Kevin, you're no longer a friend of ours.
Stop.
Alyssa, yes. Kevin, no.
So we're actually like building a community, and unfortunately, some people had to leave to make space for the new people.
Somebody had to go.
Like they say, some people are for a season and some people stay around for a reason. So I totally mean it. If you didn't give us a call, most likely I didn't give you a call, so no hard feelings. But
because it says something about us too. It says something that
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We land in each other's life at the same level.
Yeah.
And that, unfortunately, the cutoff for the wedding is at this level, and we are in each other's life.
And you just happen to not land at whatever cost of the plate is. So
not even the cost of the plate. It's really the cost of the alcohol. You didn't land on that one.
And with that said, people, please, if you're planning a wedding, don't think you're stuck in whatever the traditional expenditures are. Please look around. Ask people.
Oh my goodness! You know what? Honestly, like thinking about the wedding and COVID and all this,
we need to do.
I really think that we got like, it was really one of those things that it was like, I let go and let God. And honestly,
God was like, "Don't worry, I got you."
He was like, don't even think about it, man. It's gonna come. Like, don't worry, I got something. And I really feel like we really got the thing that works for us. And I never thought I'd say that, but I really we were both like. Yes.
So, shout out to everybody who will be
Maybe
there.
that would be like the next conversation.
Yeah. We should revisit the whole wedding planning conversation. I believe we had it with Adari a while back. I would love to have this conversation now. Well, maybe even with Adari again, but also with other people who had that non-traditional, or who looked in like every corner and looked at every option. Found these creative ways to not just save, but creative ways to really have what they were looking for, and not conform to.
You have a list. That's it.
How you know I didn't just get over
you didn't
being emotional about having a list?
Because we live together.
How you know you didn't just open up a wound that just healed?
Because you and your friends are so mean to each other and constantly make jokes about stuff like this.
But that makes me stronger.
What?
I don't know. Anyway.
That doesn't even make sense.
Anyway, Vicky, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being a guest.
Thank you
for being a guest on my podcast. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of the You, Me, We podcast. There you go, Deuce. More than 17 minutes.
I know, right?
Shout out to those of you who commented and say, hey, we wanted to hear more. It's been so long.
I did tell him that. I did say, I feel like we didn't really flesh out our responses. I did not flesh out my response as to why I thought 2009 and 2014 were my best years.
Mm-hmm. You want to do it now?
Sure.
Okay.
So I think that 2009 was a good year for me because, well, I'm going to tell you right now, in 2009, I did not think that was a good year for me.
This is to go back to, for those of you who didn't...
For episode 102.
Yeah, episode 102. Go back and come back to this point right here.
Yes. So I didn't think, at the time, I didn't think either of those years were good for me. I actually think they were very tumultuous years. Mm-hmm. But looking back at pictures, I think they were really good years because I looked mad good.
You was a snack? Oh,
I looked really good. I had like a really nice figure, or a figure that,
you still do.
Looking back, thank you. But looking back, I'm like, yes. Why didn't I take advantage of that then? Like, how did I think I was fat?
The way
then?
I took advantage of it?
We did start dating in 2009.
Oh,
yeah. And then I know I was thinking about it. I was like, he took me off the market. 2009. And I looked nice. Like, that would make sense. That the year that I looked the best was the year I started dating Ode. That would make the most sense, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. Anyways, so what?
Nothing. We'll talk about it in counseling. I'm kidding. No, I'm not.
Okay. You serious?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so 2009, because I actually physically looked really good.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't think of it. I didn't notice it until, when I would look back in pictures. And then 2014, because I actually had already graduated the year before, but I actually walked the stage. In 2014, I like saved up, went on 3 vacations within like 6 weeks.
Weird flex, but okay.
I started a dream job. I got hired for a dream job. Like, I literally was texting all day, like, there's no way I'm getting this job. This is, like, way above my level. And I was the one that was hired.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that 2014 was... And I also looked really good that year, too. So I think those were my best years. I can't tell you... I mean, I can tell you about the years in between where I didn't feel so great. But... that was, I would say 2014 is the last time I felt that confident, that powerful, that sexy. And that was my last best year, but I had 2 years.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you all for tuning into this episode of the You, Me, We podcast.
You're going, I combed my hair.